AS7 construction contracts. So construction contracts will be understanding here where it is applicable, the objective, types of contracts, its recognition, measurement and disclosure criteria. So first starting with what is the construction contract. So as per AS7, construction contract is a contract specifically negotiated for the construction of an asset or a combination of asset closely interrelated or interdependent. Means it is for the construction of any asset like construction of a building or a road or a dam, bridge, and the combination of asset means to make a bridge. There may be a subcontractors, something, lot of contracts. Not only one major contract will be there, will be so many contracts which will be made to just to prepare one building. All these contracts made by that contractor, how to account that in his books will be discussed in this AS7. So AS7 deals with the construction of a contract of an asset. So construction contract of any asset and any combination of assets, any number of construction contracts which they may make to prepare or to construct that asset. So it will include all the services that are directly related to the construction of assets. It will include the destruction and restoration of an asset. Okay, it and the restoration of environment also following the demolition of an asset. Okay, and so what is that they are giving the example also, like if there is a building already on some land that they require to demolish first and then they will make a new building. So the whole put together will be one construction contract. So the types of construction contract. There are two types of construction contract. One is fixed price contracts and cost plus contracts. So fixed price contracts means here the price is fixed at the start. There can't be any changes made in the price. So either the whole sum or amount will be fixed or it will be based on some per units. If it's a units based, some contracts is made then. Then cost plus contracts. Cost plus contracts is here the escalation clause is given a scope, like if there is a change in prices, if there is a variation in prices, there is an inflation in prices, that can be added to the main price of the contract. Like there will be cost plus any extra changes, any extra expenses, any other fees which they can include it on the basis of the actuals happening. So here the total amount is not fixed at the start. They give a scope for variations depending on the contract terms. So there are some construction contracts may be a mix of both. Okay. Objective. So what is the objective of this accounting standard? So this accounting standard explains you how to recognize the revenue, how to measure the revenue in the books of the contractor. So why this problem arises? Because when in the construction contracts where we are constructing any asset, it may go beyond one financial accounting period. It may go across 1 year. So the question arises now, how will you book the revenue? Because till now the contract will not be finished in that 12 months. Still it is ongoing. Cost you can book on the actuals, but how will you book the revenue? Because the contract is still not completed. So how much must be the revenue you should book? According to the accounting principles, we should book on the matching concept. So accounting standard came with two types of methods to account the revenue and to determine the profit or loss for that accounting period. One is percentage of completion method or on completion of the contract method. Accounting standard 7 just gives importance to the percentage of completion method. On completion of the contract method is been scrapped out. Okay. Accounting standard gives only weightage to the percentage of completion method. Now that option of adopting any of the method is no more available. Okay. So as the contract runs beyond one accounting financial period, one financial year, the revenue booking, how to do revenue booking comes in the question, and that is the reason percentage of completion method is been introduced by this accounting standard 7. Now when they speak about this accounting standard, it is applicable only to the contractor for his preparation of financial statement. It doesn't deal with, it does not apply to the customers or the contractee. Okay. So this would not be applied for the construction project undertaken by the enterprise on its own account as a commercial venture in the nature of production activities. Okay. So how to recognize the revenue? When they say percentage of completion method, how to recognize, how to calculate it is been explained in this accounting standard. So first starting with, how will you reach to the profit? When they say profit, it is revenue minus cost. So can I say contract revenue minus contract cost is my profit or loss, depending on whether revenue is more or less. Okay. Now the question comes, how will you recognize the revenue? As we already discussed, accounting standard 7 points to the method called percentage of completion method. So according to the percentage of completion method, how to determine the percentage of completion? So here measurement of contract revenue will be first, we will be discussing how to recognize, how to measure the revenue. So as per para 31, the contract revenue and contract cost associated with the construction contract should recognize revenue and expenses respectively with reference to the stage of completion of the contract activity at the reporting date. So stage of completion, percentage of completion method they are saying, so that they are giving importance to the stage of completion. How much percentage of the work is completed on that reporting day, on the day when you are preparing the financial statements. So recognition of revenue and expenses by reference to the stage of completion of a contract is generally referred as the percentage of completion method. Under this method, revenue is recognized as revenue in the statement of profit or loss in the accounting period in which work is performed. So first they try to find out how much the amount of contract is completed. This gives us the idea of how much revenue you should book, because the method is percentage of completion, means stage of completion, it gives importance. So how to calculate the stage of completion? So determination of stage of completion, it may be determined in variety of ways. First is cost to cost method. The percentage of completion should be estimated by comparing total cost incurred to date with total cost expected for the entire contract. This whole statement they have put it in the formula. So they are saying percentage of completion is equal to cost to date, means that accounting period's cost multiplied by 100 divided by cumulative cost incurred plus estimated cost to complete. Means they are saying percentage of completion is equal to cost to date till now, whatever the cost is been really incurred, that amount multiplied by 100 divided by till now cost incurred, what is called as cumulative cost incurred, actuals. These are actuals till now, whatever they have incurred on the contract, that plus future estimated cost to complete, future cost they are expecting till the date the contract is completed, that all cost we should include it. So this is nothing but in the denominator all the cost till the completion of the whole contract. So in this part actually incurred, and this is an estimation because still the project is ongoing, contract is ongoing. So they are estimating and put together will give you the total cost incurred on the, actually not, but total cost for that contract. Okay. So this will give you the percentage of completion. So current revenue from contract. So presently revenue, how will you find? Now we understood the percentage of completion. Now that percentage of completion base we have to book the revenue. So how will you book the revenue for current period? That formula they have given. Current revenue from contract is equal to contract price multiplied by percentage of completion minus revenue previously recognized. So this will give you total revenue that should be as on till date booked minus revenue previously recognized. This will give you this year how much you should book in that accounting period. Okay. So this is the formula. Another, this is one more formula which you should keep in mind. So how will you understand the percentage of completion? By survey of work performed, completion of physical proportion of the contract work. Okay. So the surveyor will go and observe the construction place and understand that how much amount of work he will observe all the things and understand how much amount of work has been completed. On that basis the certificate he will issue and we will get to know the percentage of completed contract. So while calculating the contract cost to date, now till now we were discussing cost to date. What it should include what and it should be excluded what. So while calculating the contract cost to date as mentioned above in formula, following contract cost should be excluded, means this should not be included. What? Contract costs that relate to future activity on the contract, such as cost of material that have been delivered to the contract site or set aside for use of a contract but not used and applied. Means those materials which are still not become the part of, means it has not taken the form of some completed contract. It's still in the material form line. Like if they have sent some cement and all, it has not been constructed in some pillar and all, still it is in a sack of cement lying there, then it is a material. So it should not become the part of the cost to date which we are taking in the completion of contract calculation. So these all materials should be excluded which has still not taken the form of any asset or the part of the asset, or else. And what should be excluded? First is this, and second is payment made to subcontractors in advance of work performed under the subcontract. Okay. Now basic principles of recognizing of revenue and expenses. So basic principle: revenue recognized in the period in which work is performed, expense recognized in the period in which work to which expense relate is performed. So this is because of the matching concept, as I told, accounting's principle. So conditions for recognizing the contract revenue. Following condition must be fulfilled for recognizing the contract revenue. Should this we have to write in the solution. You should remember this, as when we give the solution to any question related to S7, this you may require to list it out. So what are the conditions required to be fulfilled to recognize the contract revenue? First is total contract revenue should be measured reliably. Second, it is probable that the economic benefits associated with the contract will flow to the enterprise or contract. So it should be you should be able to measure the contract revenue. It should be sure that you will receive that revenue. Total contract cost and cost up to the date of completion is measured reliably. You should know the cost, and cost up to the stage of completion should be able to be measured reliably. Contract cost attributable to contract can be clearly identified. You should be able to clearly understand this is related to contract and this is the cost of it. Uncertainty in collection amounts to expense. This is very important. Uncertainty in collection amounts to expense. So if any amount, if any revenue, if you feel it's not recoverable, maybe turn out to be bad debts, it's not about to be received. So what you should do? It should be recognized as an expense. So what they are saying, when an uncertainty arises about the collectability of an amount already included in the contract revenue and already recognized in the profit and loss account, it amounts to expense. This uncollectible amount of which recovery has been ceased to be probable is recognized as an asset expense rather than an adjustment to the contract revenue. So these are already recognized as an revenue and showed as a profit, and it will become uncertain that it is about to be recovered, then it should be shown as an expense, and you should not reverse that entry of the revenue. When outcome of contract cannot be estimated reliably. What does it mean? Means at the end of the contract whether you will get a profit or loss, you are not sure. So what you should do? They are saying in those circumstances the revenue should be recognized only to the extent of contract cost incurred of which recovery is probable. Thus no profit is recognized. However, contract cost recovery of which is not probable is recognized as an expense resulting in loss. But when the uncertainties are no more longer exist and contract outcome can be reliably estimated, recognition should be done as per accounting standard. So when you feel if you are about to make loss at the end of the contract, you should book loss. You can't book profit. Though in this accounting period it may look you are about to make profit, but in totality it looks like it will be a loss on this contract, book the loss. This is a conservatism approach which accounting principles are based on. So on the conservatism approach, if we see if the company, if the contractor presumes that at the end of the contract there will be a loss, he should book the loss immediately. But profits should be booked on actuals on the basis of percentage of completion method. So if the uncertainties are there and if it is sure that the contract is about to give you profits and there is no chances of default in recoveries and all, then you should recognize according to this accounting standard. Contract costs consist of the following. So this is the list of items which may you come across as a part of contract cost. So specific cost to contract. So contract related, clear cut to the related to the cost contract. All the cost will be included here, like site labor cost including supervision, cost of material used in construction, depreciation means any asset you have used for the construction of contract, that related depreciation. Cost of moving plant equipments means bringing from the factory premises and putting on the contract site and then taking back, that cost. Cost of hiring plant, cost of design and technical assistant, estimated cost of rectification and guarantee work including expected warranty cost, claim from third parties, pre-contract cost if probable that contract will be obtained. Pre-contract cost if it is probable that contract will be obtained. These all costs will be the part of your contract cost, but you should reduce any incidental income. It means extra income, like any sale of surplus scrap material, disposal of plant and machinery at the end of contract, that you should reduce it and get the net contract cost. Cost attributable to the contract, insurance, cost of design and technical assistance that is not directly related to specific contract, construction overheads, cost specifically chargeable to customers under the terms of contract. These costs are cost, some general administration or reimbursement is specified, development cost, reimbursement of any other cost. Okay, so cost excluded, which is very important, we should know. So which doesn't form part of contract cost. So these expenses doesn't become part of the contract cost. What are general administration costs? Like accountant's salary. He is not specifically for that contract. He will be accounting for the whole business. So it doesn't become the part of contract cost. Selling cost, research and development cost, depreciation of cost of idle, which is not used, that machinery on that contract, on that depreciation is not the part of this contract cost. Cost incurred in securing the contract. If it is not probable that contract will be obtained. However, any other cost, it is in the simple way to say all the cost which are specifically for that contract to obtain that contract and which are required to execute that contract we execute the contract, that all will become the part of the contract cost. Now contract revenue. Contract revenue consists of revenue price agreed as per contract, revenue arising due to escalation clause, claims. Claims is the amount that contractor seeks to collect from the customer. Claims is that amount that contractor seeks to collect from the customer as reimbursement of cost not included in contract price, increase in revenue due to increase in units of output, increase or decrease in revenue due to change or violation in scope of work to be performed, incentive payments to the contractors, decrease in contract revenue due to penalties. Just remember this list of items which will be helpful. Provision for expected loss. So if you are assuming that at the end of the contract you will be facing loss, then you have to book it. So they have said when it is probable that total contract cost will exceed total contract price, the expected loss should be recognized as an expenses irrespective of whether or not work has been commenced, stage of completion of contract, the amount of profit on other contracts which are not treated as a single contract. Important. Effect of change in estimate in construction contract. So what does it mean? Here percentage of completion method, when we say, here just we are estimating that this much amount of work is completed, all the estimation is there. So if there is change in method of estimation, like they have said as the recognition, see these are just an assumption on which basis they are thinking this much work is completed and that is the reason this much has to be booked. There may be variation in the way of assuming the percentage of completion, or so that is a change in accounting estimates. So it doesn't become an extraordinary item or prior period items. So it will not go under AS5. It is a change in estimate and it should be handled accordingly is what they are saying in this para. Okay. And finally the disclosures. So these are the disclosures, you can just read it out, the disclosures. It will be all the breakup to be shown of how the amounts have been calculated. As we are doing illustrations, we will get to know the disclosures. And there is a distinguish between AS7, IFRS and US GAAP. So if you see after the issue of AS7, the only method prescribed is percentage of completion method to recognize the contract revenue, which is same as AS11. However, US GAAP in certain circumstances allow another method, that is completed contract method for recognition of contract revenue. US GAAP provide detailed guidance on the use of estimate in accounting for construction contract. However, no such guidance is provided in AS7 and IAS11. This is just a distinguish between AS, IFRS and US GAAP.